white privilege is a systemic issue that affects society in profound ways. However, many people are unaware of their privilege or do not understand how it affects those who do not have it. By recognizing the signs of white privilege, we can better understand how privilege manifests and perpetuates inequality. In this way, we can work to break down systemic barriers and promote a more just society. So, how do you know if you have white privilege? 1. No racial discrimination or stereotyping experiences. White privilege allows individuals to avoid experiencing discrimination and stereotyping based on race. This can manifest in various ways, such as not being followed around in stores, not being assumed to be uneducated or lazy, or not being harassed or profiled by law enforcement. Example: a white person walking through a store is not watched or followed by security, while a person of color is monitored closely simply because of their race. 2. Easy access to products and services for your racial identity. This sign of white privilege means that people of white descent do not have to worry about finding products or services that match their racial identity. They can easily find products such as bandages that match their skin tone or hair care products that work with their hair texture. 3. Positive representation of your race in media. A white person can turn on the TV and see themselves represented in most TV shows, movies, and advertisements. In contrast, people of color may struggle to find representation that is not stereotypical or negative. 4. Never told to go back where you really came from. A white person has never been told to go back to their country or speak for all white people, while a person of color may be told to go back to their country or asked to speak for their entire race, even if they were born and raised in the United States. 5. Never had to explain your race or culture. This sign of white privilege means that white people do not have to explain their race or cultural practices to others, as their race is the dominant one in society. Example: a white person does not have to explain why they celebrate Christmas or speak English, while a person of color may be asked to explain why they celebrate Diwali or speak Spanish. 6. Never unfairly targeted by law enforcement. A white person is less likely to be pulled over or searched by law enforcement simply because of their race, while a person of color may be more likely to be pulled over or searched, even if they have not committed a crime. 7. Never denied a job, housing, or education opportunity. A white person is less likely to be denied a job or housing opportunity simply because of race. A person of color may be denied these opportunities, even if they are equally or more qualified. 8. Free to move between neighborhoods without discrimination or harassment. A white person can move to a predominantly non-white neighborhood without worrying about being discriminated against or harassed. A person of color may face discrimination or harassment when moving to a mostly white community. 9. Never felt the need to code switch to avoid discrimination. A white person can speak their native language or use slang without worrying about being judged or discriminated against. People of color may need to modify their behavior or speech to avoid being stereotyped or discriminated against. 10. Race has never been a barrier to your success or opportunities in life. A white person can pursue any career or educational opportunity they desire without worrying about their race being a barrier to their success, while a person of color may face obstacles such as lack of representation, discrimination, or lack of opportunities based on their race. Recognizing and understanding white privilege is crucial to dismantling systemic racism and promoting equality. By acknowledging how privilege manifests, we can work towards creating a more just and equitable society for all. We must examine our privilege and work towards being allies in the fight for social justice.